Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So I apologize to everybody because this is an impromptu stream. I didn't think that I was going to do a stream right now, but I'm looking at my time and I think it would make a little bit more sense and be easier for me to do a stream now and do what I had planned on doing later. All right. So this is going to be a double header. All right. So this stream is probably only going to be like about an hour, but then it's going to take you right into the conclusion of the Crimecast stream from yesterday. So we're going to get into that too. So don't move a muscle. This stream, when it's over, it'll take you right into the next one. And by the time you guys get into the next one, it will already be started. So let me just give a quick shout out to everybody that's in the building early. I appreciate each and every one of you. We got my man Jay Bird in the building. What up with it, bro? We got Tone in the building. What up with it, bro? Good to see you as always. Got my man Keep It 100, who did a great stream last night. If you guys are not subscribed to him, make sure you guys go over there and check out his channel. The brother puts out some dope content. If you could put your link in the chat, Keep It 100, that'd be great. Make sure y'all go over there and show him some love. My man AJ is in the building over on Twitch. What up with it, bro? Good to see you. We got the B1 Night Rider in the house. My man Kid Gravity Beyond. Kid Gravity, put your link in the chat so that people can go check out your work. My man does great content, so go check him out. And shout out to my man Jay Bird. Make sure you guys throw some radiation emoji in the chat for starting the party early with the 499 super chat. My man says, I got to set the tone for the stream. Big facts, bro. Big facts. I appreciate you. My man Torian Rain is in the building. If y'all ain't subscribed to Torian Rain, make sure that you guys go over there and check out Torian Rain. My man Torian Rain does great content. You know what I'm saying? My man says that he's going to welcome Kid Gravity to the dark side in the Palpatine voice. Facts. We got all the villains in this motherfucker today. This is the whole Legion of Doom out here. You know what I'm saying? So what we're going to do today is we're going to check out homelessness and hate. Now, here's my question for you guys. How much do you think each of them pay? Because this is all money ain't good money. And you guys know what we do when it comes to the all money ain't good money series. What do we do when we talk about all money ain't good money? We talk about all this money that's getting paid out, that's not getting paid to us in reparations, but that everybody else gets. And people don't really have an issue with it, or people don't really have an issue with how they get it. And the reason why we're doing this is because every time we talk about money, the issue of, well, how are we going to pay it always comes up. And this is just a series to document all of the money that goes everywhere else, except for even consideration to what we got going on. Shout out to my man Gary. What's up with it, bro? Jay Bird, gotta go. Jay Bird, you better learn how to embrace villainy, bro. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. You know what I'm saying? So check this out, right? This is how we set the tone for this story. San Diego, homeless population reaches another high, all right? So now this article is fairly new. It came out on February 6th, all right? The homeless population in San Diego downtown has reached yet another record high for the 6th straight month, with about 1,900 people counted on January 31st. Let me ask you guys a question. What kind of issues, what kind of stresses, and what kind of strains do you guys think that puts on the California government as well as on the locality of San Diego? And here's my question. Do you think that the homeless people are being prioritized over refugees and illegal immigrants, DACA people and stuff like that? Or do you think the sanctuary people are getting prioritized over the immigrants or over the homeless people? That's the question. Let me know what you guys think. All right. So now here it says the monthly count conducted by the Downtown San Diego Partnership should not be confused with the annual point in time count that covers the entire county and was conducted on January 26th. Results of that count will not be released for a few months and will contain demographic information about the people counted. While the partnership survey is strictly a tally of people spotted on sidewalks, in vehicles, or estimated to be intense. The downtown population count found 1,939 homeless people on January 31st, exactly 100 more than the December count. As in past months, the largest homeless population was in the East Village area, which found 794 people. That number, however, actually was lower than the previous month's East Village count of 850 people. The count breaks downtown San Diego into 7 different neighborhoods, and the data shows that the population sometimes rises and falls in different places each month. For instance, the largest increase in January occurred in an area in the downtown partnership refers to as the outside perimeter, which jumped from 491 in December to 640 in January. The area includes the northern part of Barrio Logan, the western part of Golden Hill, and Sherman Heights. The overall increase does not appear to be a result of people merely moving from one neighborhood to another. However, the population has been surging for most of the past 12 months and has reached a new record high each month since August, when the count found 1,609 people. Now, here's my question. What does that tell you all? Shout out to Volvo2 Love. What does that tell you about what's going on in San Diego? And here's my question for you guys. This is my question for you guys. What do you think is the root cause that's causing this issue? What do you guys think is causing this homelessness increase? And here's another question. They're not really talking about this very much on the mainstream media. We got all of the mainstream media being saturated talking about Ukraine, and all the mainstream media talking about all this other stuff, but they're not even talking about what's going on right here in the United States. So what do you guys think is the issue here? And I got to agree with my man Ricky Jones. Shout out to Ricky. I believe that they're putting immigrants before this, and I can't wait till they put out the demographics, because who do you all think will be probably the largest demographic in this group of homeless people here in not here in San Diego, but in San Diego? That's the question. The overall increase does not appear to be a result of people merely moving from one neighborhood to another. However, the population has been surging for most of the past 12 months. Now, here's the question for you guys. Why has the population been surging for the past 12 months? And is it going to continue surging, or do you all see it flatlining at some point? You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, looking at the average monthly count over the past decade also shows a dramatic increase. Although the population has ebbed and flowed, in 2012, the average monthly homeless population was just 582 and was even lower in 2013 when it was 548. It increased to about 1,000 in 2016 and 2017, but fell to a monthly average of 656 in 2020, the year the city opened a large shelter in the San Diego Convention Center. Now, here's my thing, right? All of the homeless resources in New York, what are they going for? So now here's the question. This center here that they opened up, the large shelter, do you guys think that a percentage or a portion of that is also being used to house immigrants? If you guys think that it is, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Thomas Wilson. Thomas says, don't forget all the UFOs that we shot out of the air all of a sudden. Whole lot of distractions while they make you homeless. Yeah, super facts. Because we just can't admit that we've been caught slacking on our pimping, and China and Russia are sending spy drones and different things like that, right? Kid Gravity Beyond says, isn't that the convention center where they hold Comic Con? I'm not sure. That's Torian's area of expertise. Maybe he knows. That's Torian's expertise. He might know. Maybe he can drop some knowledge on us. So now here it says, no year in the past decade of the count has seen populations as high as 2022, which has a monthly average of 1,515, with the latest count hitting a new record high. The trend does not seem to be slowing. So now here's my question. When it comes to the homeless population, how is the government going to budget the homeless population versus the sanctuary population? Now, do you guys remember the video that I did about Eric Adams, the one that was called The Undocumented Bros? The reason why I ask about that video is because if you all recall, Eric Adams requested $1 billion to deal with the migrant issue in New York City. You guys remember that? So he requested $1 billion in federal aid. That's a lot of money, right? Now, that's in New York City. This is what San Diego is doing. San Diego wants to use $2.4 million with a state grant to help 50 homeless people near an old library. What do you guys think about that? $2.4 million to help 50 homeless people. That seems like a lot of money to help 50 people, doesn't it? And, I am pocket watching when it comes to this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm curious as to what this is going to say this money has been spent on. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have not smashed the like button, we got 24 live viewers, 26. Thank you guys for all being here. And we got 11 likes. If everybody could take a moment, smash that like button. Also, share the video out to your social media. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you guys hit the bell. $2.4 million seems like a lot of money to help 50 homeless people. I don't know. I've never done a budget for homeless people. I've never done a budget for any kind of city engineering. So I'm speaking from a place of not having any experience doing that, but I do have basic math skills. And I'm just trying to figure out what it is exactly they plan on investing in for these 50 people for the $2.4 million. And real quick, shout out to David Val and Lloyd Sky 9 for coming to the chat. Good to see you guys. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says under the new approach, outreach teams will focus on about 50 homeless people living in one neighborhood for about 2 years with the goal of finding them housing. Part of the money will go towards securing the streets so encampment does not return. So here's where the bulk of the money will probably go, securing the streets. So I find it interesting that they're putting this kind of investment and effort into quote unquote securing the streets, but they're not really worried about securing the border. Isn't this kind of interesting? And then another thing that's always interesting is where's the money coming from? So if there's anybody in the comment section that has a calculator, or if you're really, really good at math, if somebody could divide 2.4 million by 50 people, we would know exactly how much money is being spent per person. So 2.4 million is 2,400,000, right? Divided by 50. That's $48,000 per person. $48,000 per person. If I'm not mistaken, let me do it again real quick. Let me see. So we got 2,400,000 divided by 50. Yep, 48,000. Did you guys get 48,000? I got 48,000. So you guys just heard about the last article where there's that many homeless people, right? So $2.4 million is only being spent on that amount of homeless people. So now I want to do a little bit of math here. Okay. So they said that there was about 1,500 homeless people. We're going to multiply 4,800 or 48,000 times 1,500. So the cost to deal with the entire issue in that region would be 72 million. And Kid Gravity got a point, 120K in this inflation. Yeah, big facts. That's a lot of money. All right. And the interesting thing is that if there's anybody here, how many people voted on this? Shout out to DJ Elmo. What up with it, bro? This is just an initiative. It seems like that the local government is doing on its own. Now, I'm sure there was some kind of decision-making process, at the local level that enabled the local government to be able to do this. But look at how this is done with this ease. And now here's my question. How many people have heard major pushback about this? How many people have heard people say, we don't need to be spending money on this. Just go get a job. One thing that people should pay attention to, shout out to Adrian Taylor. What's good with it, bro? one thing that people should pay attention to is pay attention to what people are silent about versus what people make a lot of noise about, because the silence is more telling than the noise. Okay. The silence is more telling than the noise. They haven't come out with the demographics, DJ Elmo. The next study with the demographics is supposed to come out, I think they said, in about a month or two. So once that one comes out, we'll revisit this. So now here's the question. Why is the complaint not the same as when it comes to anything else? My man Jay Bird made it back. Shout out to my man Jay Bird for surviving the wife. We're gonna start a new playlist called Surviving the Wife. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make it Jay Birds. It's gonna say Jay Bird apostrophe S own series, Surviving the Wife. So this is for a specific group of homeless people in a specific area. Okay. So now here it says, in a new focused approach to helping homeless people get off the street and into housing, outreach workers will begin engaging with about 50 people who are living in tents along 6 blocks near the former site of San Diego Central Library. So this is where they did it. A unanimous San Diego City Council, with council member Jennifer Campbell absent, approved spending for about $2.4 million in state funds on the plan Monday. So now what you guys can see here is that one of the ways that you can get access to the decision-making parts of the money is through the city council. City council has the ability, at least in San Diego, to free up state funds and utilize it on initiatives that they choose. The city council here voted to use this $2.4 million released from state funds. All right. So now here it says, Hasfa Kaka, the city's homelessness strategies and solutions department director, said the effort will begin in about 2 months and will differ from traditional outreach work by focusing on individual needs. Okay. Now, let me ask you guys a question. And see, this is the multifaceted issue that people need to pay attention to. This is the true issue that people need to pay attention to. Are homeless people considered a marginalized group? If homeless people are considered a marginalized group, give me a thumbs up. If they're not, give me a thumbs down. So now when it comes to quote unquote marginalized groups being assisted, when people start talking about politics, will they be able to wrap this into politics and say, well, we did this for marginalized groups? What are you complaining about? Is this something that they'll try to package and say that this was done? So now let me ask you guys a question. If homeless people are a marginalized group and they give $2.4 million to homeless people, which, they should be able to get it. They should be able to help them. What does that do for you? That's the question. Does that help you? Does that hurt you? Is it something that you would expect to have done as a result of your choice of vote? That's the question. You guys want to put some tears in the comment section for Esposito because he's crying? Anybody want to put any tears in the comment section? Now, you know what's fascinating? When it comes to non-black people believe that racism is a fact. If you guys agree that non-black people, and even some groups of black people like the immigrants, you know what I mean? They believe that racism is a fact. They believe that all of their bigotry is somehow based in fact and that it's not an underdeveloped animal instinct. But I'm curious as to what you guys think. You guys think it is, or do you think it's not? Shatira says, Rob, you being racist again? Yeah, no. I don't recall ever tar and feathering anybody. I don't recall ever making any laws restricting anybody's progress. I don't recall being on a police force and setting my dog on white people or their children. I don't recall any of that. But then again, white people don't recall slavery and Jim Crow. So what I don't recall clearly doesn't matter in this reality. Only what you want to remember and only what makes you look good. You know what I'm saying? You don't have any character. So I can't get you out of character. I can't get you out of something that you don't have. That's like if you said, don't get me out of this $1,000 Gucci sweater. Well, you don't have $1,000 Gucci sweater, so I can't get you out of it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a functional vehicle or a home that doesn't rain indoors either. So I can't get you out of those things either. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. So now here it says, what happens with normal outreach, to be honest, is sometimes people will fall through the cracks, she said. These individuals, outreach workers, are intensively going to be following people who have been identified. So these 50 people who are selected for this program are chosen. So now what I'm curious about is, what is the criteria to be chosen? Racism, DJ Omo says, is a power dynamic where those who classify as white dominate the non-whites via economic and political tools in all areas of human activity. Facts. If you guys agree with DJ Omo, you know what I'm saying, and his quotation of Neely Fuller, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Now, here's my question, and here's how revealing these people are. You listening, Esposito? You out there, Pizone? Where you at? You out there, Pizone? Ah, there you go. There you go. Here's an example. Shout out to Torian Rain. I actually watched a Torian Rain short this morning, and it was one where he was talking about on the Proud Family how they take two sides of an argument. I was actually going to talk about the Proud Family in my video that I plan on doing about TJ Holmes and Amy Roebuck. Now, white people, you hear that, Esposito? Shout out to Esposito. Everybody throw some bottles popping and some champagne and some party emojis in the chat. Shout out to Esposito for qualifying to be under the umbrella of white. Congratulations for securing your escapism. That's noteworthy. I don't know if it's noteworthy for good because it's kind of indicative of cowardice, but it's noteworthy nonetheless. So shout out for surrendering your ethnic and cultural identity to be at the knees of other people. You should be proud of that. You should be proud to check that box that somebody let you check because you didn't want to fight to check your own box. So congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Everybody make sure that you guys show him some love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Conquistadors. Yay, yeah. Yeah, mafia. You know what I'm saying? They like to call Will Smith an eggplant, an enemy of the state, and then say that they're not racist. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of creative names. They even got creative names for themselves, which is sad. You know what I'm saying? But recently there was an episode of The Proud Family where they talked about reparations. You know what I'm saying? And they talked about something that Trump supporters don't like that Trump said. Esposito, you hear? Open them big ears that you got, because I know your ears and your nose and your eyes are big as hell. So open them all up. Get open, bro. Your boy Trump said that black people, slaves, built the United States. He didn't say Italians did it. Did he? That's your boy. That's your man. That's your man's right there. Your man said that. Shout out to Lloyd Sky 9. Lloyd Sky 9 is a villain for real. You know what I'm saying? Everybody drop some radiation emoji for Lloyd Sky 9. He's a villain. You know what I'm saying? Now, recently, white people were outraged. They were so outraged that they went and got uh, Officer Tatum to make a video about how racist the Proud Family is, because it talked about reparations and it talked about black people building the nation, right? But what white people were silent about, one thing that white people were very silent about, they were very silent about the part where the black male was dating a white female, and they posed all of the black girls who were at the table as jealous and angry, and they posed the black dude as saying he only dates white girls. Then they had the friend as the white savior to try to calm everything down between all of the friends. Now, here's the thing, right? This is one of the things that I warned people about with the gender war content. When you put that kind of stuff out there in the atmosphere, one thing that's going to happen is that these major media companies are going to take it and they're going to run with the narrative. And another thing they're going to do is they're going to run with the narrative and then blame the content creators who talk about the gender stuff and say, well, see, this is cultural stuff and these people talk about it all the time. So all we did was be kind to them by introducing what they talk about in their culture into a TV show that is supposed to be, quote unquote, about their culture. They don't have any honest intent. They don't want to discuss interracial relationships. They don't want to discuss a black male, black female gender war. They want to make money. But what I find fascinating is that white America wasn't outraged about that. The heroes, the good guys, the good Americans. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Why not? Why weren't they? You guys got any idea? Let me know in the comment section why you think that white people were outraged about the reparations episode, but they weren't outraged about the black guy only dates white girls and angry black women and white savior friend episode. Why weren't they upset about that? See, when it comes to them, what people need to understand is that silence speaks the loudest. What really gets them is what they don't say anything about. Anytime they open their mouths, they're just trolling. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with Cape Gravity Beyond. The history was never properly taught. Facts. So I just thought that was interesting. And it shows a theme, and it shows a theme in consistency. And the theme is that when it comes to dealing with these people, everything that they do is nothing more than intermediate to low level trolling. It'd be different if they were capable of high level trolling, but they're not. The collective intellect isn't up to par to be considered high level trolling. So what we're dealing with is mid level trolling, mid to low level trolling. You know what I'm saying? That's what we deal with. So that's something that I want you guys to think about. You know what I'm saying? And I'll go into that more in that video that I plan on doing. You know what I'm saying? So here it says the grant will fund services ranging from outreach to the housing for the 50 people in the 6-block area over the next 2 years. And some of the grant will be used to keep the area clear of encampments once people are housed. So what this is right here, this is just a sweep them under the rug effort. Shout out to Donnie Side. What up with it, bro? If you guys agree that this is just a sweep them under the rug effort, give me a thumbs up. They want to move these people away and clean up the area. And now here's my thing. There's probably a real estate project that's going to bring in some amount of money over time that they plan on putting smack dab where that library is. That's the only reason why they're willing to pull out that $2.4 million and spend it on that. And shout out to Val Williams for answering the Nightbot. So now here it says the focus will be on placing people into long-term permanent housing and also can be used to subsidize shorter-term bridge housing such as independent living facilities, skilled nursing facilities, placements with family members, and supportive housing through California advancing and innovation. Medi-Cal clients who have been referred to permanent supportive housing may be placed in hotel rooms as temporary housing. So they're doing something similar to what's going on in New York. And I have to agree with DJ Elmo. DJ Elmo says San Diego wants to gentrify. If you guys agree with DJ Elmo that San Diego wants to gentrify, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. That's what this is all about. So now here's the question. Where did the money come from where they have $2.4 million to drop on 50 people? And why would they do that? The reason why they might more than likely want to do that is because that area that they want to get cleared out, they really have a plan to put in some high revenue generating real estate. Do you guys think that that's a good assumption? So now let me ask you a question. If there was black control of the city council in San Diego, do you think money could have been allocated, quote unquote, for other things? That's the question. Esposito says Blacklight would never debate Nick Fuentes. What would I debate Nick Fuentes about? The only thing that I would debate Nick Fuentes about is explain to me how you're white, but you're Mexican. That's the only thing that I'd be interested in. Other than that, I don't have any interest in him. He's boring and he's a hypocrite. This guy gets on every social media platform and blasts how he's against interracial marriages, and then he decides to hang out with a guy who is in an interracial marriage and has biracial kids. He's a hypocrite. So I don't really entertain hypocrites. There's no need. And I've seen Nick Fuentes. He had a difficult time with Gideon. He had a difficult time with Abba and Preach. And when you're stumbling through a debate on the No Jumper podcast, that's kind of like me debating a preschooler. I'm not really interested in having unproductive conversations with white supremacists, especially white supremacists that don't have any power to do anything. He's not the person that I would need to get through to do what? See, this is one of the ways that you know that these people don't have any concept of how to make it to the next level. As much as these people play video games, they still don't understand the concept. In order to get to the next level, you kill the boss. Nick Fuentes isn't a boss. So now here it says the people who will be helped by the grant represent a fraction of the city's homelessness population. A monthly count conducted in December by the Downtown San Diego Partnership found 850 people living in East Village, which includes East Street area, and that will be the focus of the new grant. In all, the count found 1,839 people living downtown on sidewalks, in tents, and vehicles in December, the fifth straight month of record high. So now here's my question. They just said that there were 1,800 people downtown. What's so special about those 50 outside that library? What's so special about them? I'm telling you, what's so special is the area that they plan on getting those people out of. And see, when they feel that they can make money by moving people around, that's exactly what they'll do. And that's one of the reasons why they're putting that money into dumping that money into those 50 individuals outside that library so they can swap that library area into a revenue generating property. That was able to be done through the city council. All it took was a vote. Boom, $2.4 million is available. So now let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that that same kind of strategy would be able to work if multiple people were involved in city council on a spectrum of all 50 states? If you guys think that it would, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that it would, give me a thumbs down. So now here it says San Diego was one of 8 California communities awarded. Listen to this. San Diego was one of 8 California communities awarded a portion of the $48 million encampment resolution funding program in October, with 19 other communities receiving funds last year. Now, did anybody hear about all of this money that went out in California? And remember, this is just in California. Okay. This is only in California. These grants are administered by the California Interagency Council on Homelessness with the goal of finding housing for people living in specific encampments. Okay. So now this is what I want you guys to know. They took all of that information that was collected, right? They took all of that information, all of that data, all of those numbers, and compiled it. And after they compiled it, they then took the data and used the data to justify getting all of this money. And if you ask me, that's one of the reasons why it's so important to develop think tanks. You know what I'm saying? Because it's think tanks that gathered and cultivated this information to make it sound the way that they needed to sound. So Al McCowan was asking when this was reported. This was reported on January 30th of 2023. But they said that the survey, if I'm not mistaken, took place in December. And remember, when it comes to this survey, these homeless numbers have been increasing every year. Okay. These homeless numbers have been increasing every year. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys haven't smashed that like button, please make sure that you guys take a moment and smash the like button. Also, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do that by hitting the bell icon twice. And please be so kind as to share the video out to your other social media. So now here it says, Kaka said, the majority of people in the encampments are Black women, and many are seniors. The outreach will address existing disparities in access to services in those populations, she said. So many of the majority of people in the encampments are Black women. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. And many are seniors. So they're senior citizen Black women. The outreach will address existing disparities in access to services in those populations, she said. How many people were aware of that? Shout out to my man, Philip Goodman. You know what? I'm glad you said something about that, Philip Goodman. If you guys could do the survey that's in the comment section, make sure you guys do that survey about the notifications. And just real quick, if you guys got a notification, drop a radiation emoji. If you guys did not get a notification, give me a thumbs down. So now Esposito says, looks like your white supremacy hit a roadblock. It's not my white supremacy, it's white people's white supremacy. And how did it hit a roadblock if the targeted group of people are the ones that don't have any money? Sounds to me like it's working as planned. Black women are homeless while white women are benefiting from affirmative action. Sounds to me like white supremacy is working fine, like somebody just sprayed WD-40 on it. So again, this just shows how clueless these people are, which is one of the reasons why, again, I don't understand why people even entertain the notion of attempting to use the political system to do anything. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's all about people working together. And my methods may be extreme. Esposito says, what about homeless whites? Here's what about homeless whites. Instead of doing Twitch streams playing Grand Theft Auto, maybe you should stream about homeless whites and get them some help. So now here it says the San Diego Regional Task Force on Homelessness has created ad hoc committees to address the growing population of senior homelessness and the disproportionately high percentage of homeless people who are Black, she noted. So what I want you guys to pay attention to also is when it comes to this homeless issue, I wouldn't be surprised if a large percentage of those homeless people are Black. So now also pay attention to how they're only divvying out that money for a total of 50 people. So now Esposito's little fifis are hurt. He says that wasn't nice. Actually, it was. Actually, it was. Telling you to be responsible for your community isn't mean. I could have said something that would have made you want to brush your teeth with a bus grill. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't. So when it comes to even communication with dealing with these people, you can't do it. You about to really be offended when Crimecast starts. You about to really be offended when Crimecast starts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I agree, Torian. PC people don't even care about PC homeless issues, let alone others in general. Super facts. Wait until Crimecast starts. They don't care about the babies either. That's just a farce. I'm surprised the Manhattan Institute hasn't talked about the abuse that goes on in daycare centers or talked about the women that can't keep their hands off of high school kids, but they're really worried about critical race theory. You know what I'm saying? Your entire life is offended. The reason why you watch my streams is to be offended, which is cool because I don't have no problem offending you. You know what I'm saying? No, he's on Twitch, Tone. You know what I'm saying? He's over there on Twitch because he claims that he's blocked over here on YouTube. But hey, you know what I'm saying? My moderators choose what's important versus what's not important. And if they block you, they block you. It is what it is. You'll deal with it. See, you're dealing with it now. You're dealing with it now. You know what I'm saying? And you're okay. You know what I'm saying? Now that's a true fan. That's a true subscriber. He's so invested in my content that he went over to follow me on Twitch because in his P brain, he believes that he's blocked on YouTube. That's, hey man, can't get mad at that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, super facts. The cost of doing business, Val. They are collateral damage and they are willing to pay for keeping the system of WS going. Facts. Shout out to Neely Fuller Jr. So now here it says the outreach teams will focus on F Street, E Street, and Broadway between 7th and 10th Avenue. The area includes the former site of Central Library, the U.S. Postal Service, and Andes San Diego Hotel. While not large geographically, some stretches have dense encampments. In recent days, the sidewalk on the north side of E Street has been filled with tents between 7th and 8th Avenues. So I got a question for you guys. Do you guys remember when that video came out of the Black woman who was getting sprayed with water by the white guy in front of the stores. Do you all know where that was at? If anybody knows the location of that, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me the thumbs down. This dude said blacks like banging overweight white women. I can name some white guys that like big black women. Isn't Precious married to a white guy? And he loves her. Man, he loves the fuck out of her. He ain't going nowhere. And he married her, not just banged, married. You know what I'm saying? You know, to that white dude, Gabby is precious. And his ass ain't going no motherfucking where. That ass ain't going no wah. You know what I'm saying? So what that says is that some men like them big chicks. Get over it. You know what I'm saying? You over here dick policing and shit. So now here it says District 8 City Council member Vivian Moreno supported the motion to allocate the funding, but said she was concerned about its focus on one neighborhood in District 3, represented by Council member Stephen Whitburn. While part of the downtown she represents has a growing homeless problem. Do you guys know where that place was? Shout out to my man Afro Elite. Yo, Afro Elite, make sure you drop your channel link into the chat so people can go check your channel out. And shout out to DSB. What's good with you, bro? I didn't even see you over there. Do you guys know where that took place at? Where was that situation that went down where that white guy was spraying that black woman down? Was that in California or was that in New York? Does anybody know? Yeah, Afro Elite got great content. Big facts. I agree with Lloyd Sky 9. So now here it says Moreno said that the council had allocated $1 million to increase the outreach in Area 6 months ago, and she questioned Kaka on how the money had been used. Kaka said that the city had submitted to the state an earlier funding application that did include Commercial Street, but it was not awarded. She said someone at the state advised her to submit an application that focused on a specific area in the next funding cycle, which led to the grant for the East Street outreach. She also told Moreno that the $1 million allocated to the outreach in her district had been put to use through people assisting the homeless. Kaka said the money for more outreach in other areas could come in the future, and the city and the county have discussed submitting a joint application to the state for the next round of funding. Under the program adopted Monday, $1.2 million will be used for housing and flexible subsidies. $950,000 will go towards outreach services for people in encampments. The grant will provide $150,000 for support services to help people stabilize when they receive housing, and $116,500 will pay for administrative costs. Once encampments are cleared from the city, the grant will provide $30,000 to keep the area secure and prevent the encampments from returning. Also on Monday, the San Diego Housing Commission announced that it had received a $184,000 grant from National Fair Housing Alliance to provide funds for programs that help, quote unquote, people of color obtain homes. Okay. So now remember, later on in this article, they talked about how the black women made up the largest amount of these homeless people, but then they shift the conversation back to people of color. Yeah, this person's name is Kaka. So what did that tell you about them? I'd already tell you that they're full of shit. Yeah, it's Kaka, Val. Kaka, she full of caca. She kiki caca, you know what I'm saying? Funds will help with debt reduction, credit counseling, peer mentors, home ownership, navigators, and community educators. The grant will also help people with down payments, closing costs, and credit building loans. Okay. So All money ain't good money. $2.4 million is supposed to help these 50 people. City council voted it in to get this $2.4 million allocated from the state. Shout out to my man, Derek Smith. What up with it, bro? So that right there is the power of the city council. With the city council, you're able to allocate state money for your own initiatives. Just something to think about. You know what I'm saying? So that's the homeless part of all money ain't good money. Now we're going to talk about the hate crime hustles and a new series for you guys called Hate Crime Hustling is coming. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my man Afro Elite. Absolutely. Take a moment. Make sure you guys please leave a thumbs up and share the video on your social media. Big facts. How many people heard about this? Oregon University that fired a professor who quote unquote reported anti-Semitic incidents settles with him for $1 million. So we talking about them folks. Talking about them folks. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you a question. Why are people so, shout out to my man Mike Mellis John. Why are people so triggered by Tariq? You better be careful mentioning his name, Esposito. You might make him trend again. He trends like every day on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? No, you'd be big triggered by that. You know what I'm saying? So this guy got $1 million. Now, do you guys remember when I talked about that lady from Smith University? The lady from Smith University quit because she said that there was quote unquote anti-white initiatives going on there, and white people dumped over $1 million into her GoFundMe account. You guys remember that? If you guys remember that story, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't remember that story, give me a thumbs down. Okay. So now here it says a university in Oregon that fired a J professor after he reported quote unquote several incidents, including purported anti-Semitic remarks made by its president, has settled with the professor. Linfield University, a private school in McMinnville, will pay $1 million to English professor Daniel Pollock Pelsner for his quote unquote wrongful termination in 2021. Pollock Pelsner had accused the school's president, Miles K. Davis, of making anti-Semitic remarks in front of him, including jokes about gas chambers and comments on the size of J noses. He was fired shortly after he went public with these and other accusations, including some regarding allegations of sexual harassment directed at members of the school's board of trustees. Okay. After his termination, Pollock Pelsner, who was tenured, sued the school for $4 million. A report on his firing last year by the American Association of University Professors found that Linfield had violated Pollock Pelsner's academic freedom and right to due process. What do you guys think about that? Sounds like a shakedown to me too. Sounds like a shakedown to me too, but that's the strategy. See, they play by the same playbook all the time. All the time. It's an extortion racket, and they got it down to a science. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Cameron Jones. What up with it, bro? Esposito stream says you don't have the balls to do a video on Tariq because your woke audience wouldn't like it. First of all, woke is a dog whistle for black. There's more people than just black people that watch my content. You watch it faithfully, a little bit more faithfully than I'm comfortable with. Second of all, I don't have a reason to do a video on Tariq. Why would I do a video on Tariq? Let explain to me why I would do a video on Tariq. Because you want me to do a video on Tariq? Why would I do a video on Tariq? Because he's a race hustler. That's interesting. How much money has Tariq, quote unquote, made off a race? I guarantee you Tariq has made negligible amounts of money, quote unquote, off of race compared to white people in general. But I find it fascinating that the first thing that white people say is race hustler when literally the entire system of racism, white supremacy, slavery, and Jim Crow is the biggest known race hustle to this day. The projection is real. Yeah, you did pay for a subscription at one point, and then I banned you. Well, that would have been one of my mods that banned you, but that's called redlining. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You ever heard of eminent domain? That's what happened to you. Somebody ran a freeway through your membership, and you just lost your money. Is that woke? is that woke? Yo, in the chat, name all the race hustles that you guys can think of. The Dawes Act was a huge race hustle, wasn't it? Man, if you guys think that the Dawes Act was a huge race hustle, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that the Dawes Act was a race hustle, give me a thumbs down. Yeah, that's big facts, Lloyd. Tariq ain't killing innocent, unarmed white Americans. Facts. How much did the United States make gross domestic product all the years that slavery was legal here in the United States? I bet you those were some good years, weren't they? Oh, man. Yeah, I'll tell you who else does some good race hustling. Man, them folks, they got it down to a science. This is a race hustle right here. They've got it to a science where even other white people can be considered racist towards them. That's interesting. That's an interesting maneuver, ain't it? Like Dave E said, maneuver. You know? So there's that. I mean, I don't understand why they say that. When you hustle, you make money off of your hustle, right? How much money has been generated by the creation of a race-based class system? Seriously, across the entire world. There's a race hustler in front of my face every day. Every time you spend money, all of those old guys on the dollars, they're all race hustlers. And they're all your race. Man, that shit is funny. Oh, that's a great race hustle. Super facts. Super facts, Tone. White women being a minority is a race hustle. Facts. Affirmative action primarily benefiting white women. Race hustle. Facts. Disney and Mickey Mouse being a minstrel show figure is race hustle. You know what I'm saying? So this guy says, I only buy Italian, right? But he'll be the first person when people say support black business. Well, what about everybody's business? So what about everybody's business, these business? You should spend your money on more than calzone and pizzas. You know what I'm saying? I just can't bring myself to call spaghetti Italian, seeing how you guys stole that from the Asians. I just can't. And I think pizza was also stolen. Let's take a moment and go through history and see everything that Italy took credit for that they didn't actually discover. Pasta is one of them. Pizza is the other. The Fibonacci sequence is yet another. We'll be here all day. Yeah, super fact. There you go, Torian. When you get finished with your massacre series, we can do the race hustle series. We could collab on that. And we'll talk about every race hustle that white people have done in the United States, starting with the Maryland and Virginia colonies. Shit, we could go back further than that. We could go to Asiento de Negros in Spain. You know what I'm saying? Now, this guy says blacks getting hired just for being black is a race hustle. Where does that happen at? Name me 10 companies that have done that. name me 10 companies where people get hired just for being black. Also, what I need you to do is post me some job descriptions where being black is part of the requirements. Oh, he's mad because I said spaghetti and pizza. And yeah, we eat healthy. And you eat fried foods and nasty pastries like tiramisu. You know what I'm saying? I've seen jobs fire black people because of how they wear their natural hair. Super facts. Look, he said the NBA and the NFL. So you're just as outraged that hockey only hires quote unquote white people then, if we're going to use that logic, right? I thought it was based on athletic performance. There's a million white kids out there in the streets. You know what I'm saying? In the streets or in the haystacks of rural America that can shoot better than Michael Jordan, that can dunk better than Michael Jordan, that can run circles around LeBron James. They just don't get a fair shake, I guess. You know what I'm saying? When they do get a fair shake, they can't stop saying the N-word, so then they lose their scholarships. So now, and then, you know, black people are quote unquote just so bigoted that a historically black college then decides to recruit the guy and then dump him because he's shit. That's a waste of whiteness, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Just like what we're going to be talking about the entire 3-hour long episode of Crimecast I plan on doing. So make sure you got a nice cushion under your seat. So now here says the settlement shields the university from further legal action by Pollock Pelsner, but does not prevent him from talking about the case. A spokesperson for Pollock Pelsner's law firm told the J Telegraphic Agency that the settlement does not include details about any particular claims he made against the university, nor does it require the school to apologize to him. So he just wanted to get the money. Several people affiliated with Linfield left the university in solidarity with Pollock Pelsner in wake of his firing, including the trustee who had endowed the professor's chair in the English department and the director of the school's vaunted wine studies program. Linfield is affiliated with American Baptist churches. Now, this is interesting because I wouldn't be surprised if all of those people that left with him were them folks. Shout out to my man PD Chicago B1. If you guys think that the people that left with him were them folks, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, give me a thumbs down. Pollock Pelsner is currently visiting professor at Portland State University and scholar in residence at the Portland Shakespeare Project. Davis remains in his position as Linfield's president nearly 3 years after Pollock Pelsner's firing, despite calls from the ADL, the Oregon Board of Rabbis, and other groups calling for his resignation. So do you see how they do the pile-on tactic? Shout out to DSA. What up with it? You guys see how they do the pile-on tactic? It's no different than how they do anytime when it comes to Kyrie Irving, when it comes to Whoopi Goldberg, when it comes to Kanye West. That is what they do. They just point the finger and repeat. They get all of their people in high places, Ari Emanuel and all of those people, to just point and repeat. You're anti-Semitic, you're anti-Semitic, you're anti-Semitic, you're anti-Semitic. Even if there's no proof of any anti-Semitism, they'll just keep pointing and saying it, keep pointing and saying it, keep pointing and saying it until it sticks. And then once it sticks, that's when that shakedown starts. They'll start attacking your business relationships. They'll start attacking your job. They'll do everything that they can to attack your livelihood and try to strangulate your income. And that's one of the reasons why it's so important. Shout out to PD Chicago B1 for answering the Nightbot. That's why it's so important to make sure that you have your income secure and you always have a backup hustle and you have a savings account that has a significant savings in it in case these people attempt to try to attack, because you'd be surprised how much industry and how much business that they own. And that's the first thing that they do to try to play these games, to get you to apologize. And then even after you apologize, they'll take your job anyway. So it's not even worth the apology. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Val for answering the Nightbot too. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, don't move a muscle. This stream will take you right into Crimecast, and we will be back in about 15 minutes. I appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you hit the bell, and I will catch you all on the next video. All right? Peace.